So we're going to start by taking a pipe cleaner. We're going to bend it in half. Find the center. And we're just going to twist. It doesn't have to be that tight. And when we get down to around here, we want to leave about 2.5 inches. Then we're going to separate that. And then I'm just going to take this and bend it back on itself. Same with the other side. So we've got this T shape. Then I'm going to take my red . Then we're going to pull off a piece, and we're going to tear it in half. And then we're just going to tear it in half again. And then we'll smooth it out. So we're just going to smooth it down with our thumb. And then we're just going to rub down the pipe cleaner. So I was finding that a little thick, so I've unwound it and I'm going to subdivide it again. I'll just pull this away. Leave that for the other half. And now it's a little more manageable. So as I wind towards the toe, I'm going to angle back. And I'll take my needle and just lightly tack it down so that it stays put. That's one side done. And I'll do the same with the other side. Okay, so now we're ready for the body. We've got a piece of white roving that we've split off. We're just going to smooth it out. And holding your wire in your right hand, if you're right-handed. We're just going to twist this on fairly tightly. Now at the top, we're going to angle it upwards, and then we're going to angle it back down. You want this pointy because this is where the hat's going to be. So it's angled one way, and we're going to angle it back. So I've come down to the bottom and I've continued wrapping, and this is our end. We're just going to wrap it around. And then we're going to felt the end in. So we're going to do another layer, and then from here we're going to build up the bottom wider. And we're not going to quite go up to the top because we want that point for the hat. So I'm going to continue just to catch my ends. Then I'll smooth out another piece of roving. And then we're going to start again at the bottom. Okay, so here I've started my second layer at the bottom, and I'm just continuing to wrap. And this time I'm not going to quite go to the top. I'm going to angle back down. So you can see the shape starting to form. He'll be sitting like this. I'm just going to put one more layer. You should have, I'd say, maybe about 4 inches around at the base. We're almost there at 4 inches around. I'm just going to beef up the base just a little bit more. And felt these ends in. Gonna give this tool a try. It's got 3 needles, so it goes much faster. As you can see, it's a lot more aggressive. And it does a great job of just tying that in. Okay, now under here, you want a flat base so that he can sit. And I'm just going to stand him up, and we're just going to flatten that out. And there it is so far. I'll just continue working on that base a little. If we measure around the base, we'll see that we're right on 4 inches. So now we're going to add a little face about 1 inch up. And for that, we're going to use this flesh color. And I didn't have a flesh color in the package that I got. I had this more vibrant pink and white, so what I did was I just pulled off some of each, and I just kept pulling like this so that it mixed. And as you can see, it's a much lighter shade of pink, and it'll look fairly good as the skin tone. So I'm going to pull off a piece. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to wrap it right around for his face. I'm going to use this punch tool just to felt it together. Oops, first I have to unlock it. Unlocked. But before I do, this is brand new. This is brand new. So I'm just going to depress it on my felt here, just to get rid of some of the oil that they typically put on it to prevent it from rusting. So when I'm satisfied, I'm just going to mat this together and pull it up. Do Do the same on the other side. Okay. I'm just going to take my needle and form a line here. And just fold that over. Just to get it more smooth. And I'll do the same here. And just fold it. And flatten it down. Just want to roll it, not tear it off. And I've got my piece. Determine which one you want to be the back. Doesn't really matter. It's about an inch up. And above here is going to be his little hat. Just going to wrap it around. And I'll just blend the seam in, right here. So that'll be the start of his face. And if you like, you can just tack in the edges here to neaten it up. And you're just going to take shallow stabs just to neaten that edge and tuck in all the wisps. You actually won't really see it because the hat will come down and cover that anyways. So I'm just going to continue this and we'll be on to the next step. I've pulled some little tufts of pink and some black for the eyes, and these are going to be for the ears. And what we're going to do is take a little mini dowel, get it onto the stick, and just roll it in the same spot. So you've got these little puffs. And I'll do the second one right beside it. Just keep it in the same spot and roll it loosely. And this will be the cheeks. It's going to be like little Q-tip nibs. And just keep going around to felt those ends in. And then we're going to push them right off. Push. And that's what you end up with. Those are the cheeks. Now for the nose, we're going to use a smaller toothpick here. And we're going to start the same way. Twist it on there. But this time, we're going to angle so that we get more of a seed shape. And I think maybe we have to build that up just a touch. You really have to kind of judge for yourself. I'm just going to add a little bit more. And just by the friction, it's going to hold together. And again, we're going to push that off. These little black bits will be the eyes. And then here we're going to do the same thing that we did for the nose, but we're going to go slightly bigger. We're going to twist back and forth. Keep twisting. Same with this one. Push them off. This one seems a little smaller. I'm just gonna grab a little bit more. And you want the ends to be loose because you're going to be felting those in. Push that off. Now, for the ears, we're just going to go ahead and flatten those out a little bit. I'll use my tool here that has 3 felting needles. It'll go a lot faster. Just get the point in here. Don't forget to turn your work around so that it's not quite flat, it's three-dimensional. And there you've got a little elf ear. I'm just going to continue to shape this. And I'll finish the other one to match. Okay, I'm just going to get these out of the way. Now these are my cheeks. They're going to sit on the face, and then the nose will be just in the middle. So I just want to show you this little character, and this is what we're going for. Cheeks are here, nose is in the middle, these are little elf ears. Now I've taken my little poofs and I'm just going to stab them into a more circular shape. Watch your fingers. Actually, when you're doing this, it's best to take another needle, hold it down with the other needle. Make sure you avoid stabbing this onto the metal because it can break. It's very delicate, but it does keep your fingers free. And that helps you form your little ball for one of the cheeks. So now I'll just do this one, poking it down. And again, it's best to use, like this is just a darning needle, just to catch it and hold it for you as you stab. And I'll turn this around, come this way. And I've got my other little ball, and that's good enough for now. We're going to place those on, and then the nose will be in the middle. I'm just going to put my needle right in there so it's in place. And I'm going to take the tip and just needle it in. Just so it's secure. See? And I'll turn it around and I'll do the same at the bottom. Just get those ends in. Now I can remove the darning needle because it's in place. And I've got this makeshift needle holder here to get it off my workspace. It's just basically the end of a hairdryer with a piece of foam that's surrounding it with a hole in the middle. And it just stands right beside me, just to clear the workspace. Now, I want to felt down the side, each side of the nose, just to hold it in place. So I'm going to bring my needle back. I'm just going to go through the edges here, just to hold it down. And again on the other side. Just make sure it's centered. Then we're going to place our cheeks right beside that. And then you just want to get underneath the edges. Go all the way around. And then catch right here. Now that that's tacked, you can remove the darning needle. And then you just want to round it off. Just come at it from different angles, all the way around. Now for the other side. Gonna pin it down again. And then I'll just come around the edges and tack that in place. And once again, I'm going to remove the needle and just ensure that it's circular. Now at this stage we can put on some wisps of red for the rosy cheeks, and we can put the eyes in place. And we're just going to roll some black into a ball. And we're going to place those there. And those will reduce in size. And just needle felt them in. Okay, I'm going to continue to the other side, and then we'll come back when the ears are done and tack those on too. So for the cheeks, I've tufted together a little bit of the original pink and some red. I don't know if you can see that on camera. And I'm just placing it over the cheek. And I'm going to felt it in. As you can see, it's just a little rosy. So I've got the cheeks on, and I've added just a little bit of white highlight to the eyes. And now I'm about to do the ears. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tack them in right by the cheek, and then I'm going to fold it back on itself. There you go. So I'm just tacking it right in there. And then they'll sit like this. And there's one, and I'll do the other off camera. I'm going to try to do a mouth and some lips on this one. So what I've done is I've applied some brown just as the background. I've created a little half moon shape here. I'm just gonna fluff it out. You probably can't see it on camera, but it's just a half moon, like that. What I'm going to do is going to apply it right here. Just going to pinch it in. And then I'll just bring this up. And I'll go ahead and tack it into the bridge of the nose. And I'm going to continue tacking this in on camera, and I'll show you the result. I've created an upper lip here, and I'm going to show you how to do the lower lip with this piece. So we're going to draw with our single needle. Just a half moon shape for the mouth. You want to get it right in the center because we're going to be folding this down. You want to make sure it's tacked at the corners here very well. Then you're going to bring this down. And then you're going to shape that. And then just flatten it out. Now we're going to gently peel this up. And we're just going to get rid of these little fluffies on the back. So just gently poke them in. Watch your fingers. You don't want to pull them through to the other side, because that side is okay. Just want to tack those down. I've got the lower part of my mouth here, and it's nicely curved. And I've just taken some of the pink and I've wound it onto this toothpick. Just going to push it off. What I end up with is a tube. I'm just going to stretch it out a little. And then we're going to just thread tack it onto the edge of this. So I'm going to do that off camera. Next part is a little tricky. I've got the bottom lip here and the top lip, and we're going to overlap it at the corner. So what I want to do is just tack it. I'm just connecting those two pieces just to each other. It's not going through anything else. And you want to take it in the back. Make sure it's attached there. It's hard to see. So I've got the corner tacked. Now I'm going to do the next one. And again, I'm going to overlap. And I'm going to tack in that corner, just in the air, being very careful. And again in the back. Now we've got our little mouth. And we're going to further sculpt and shape that. I want this palette to be filled in. So I'm going to take a bit more of the brown and just roll it into a little tube. And I'm going to stuff it underneath. And I'm going to needle it in. Just under the chin here, I added a little bit of roving underneath so that I could sculpt the chin. I'm starting the hat, and I've got a nice fold on there. And I'm going to position it in the middle. Just like that. I'm going to grab my needle and start tacking it in. Once we get that all the way around, we'll have a bit of a brim. So I'm going to finish this off, and we'll be back. The hat's done. I've got this little knob on the end here. I'm just going to cover it with this white to make a little puff ball at the end, little pom-pom. Here I'm preparing some curls that I'm going to be using for the hair and the beard. Just pull off a thin piece of the roving. Just going to smooth it out. Then you want to make a slip knot at one end. Insert your crochet hook. And just do a single crochet all the way down the line until you reach the end. Now at the end, you're just going to leave that loop. And there you've got your chain. Now what we're going to do with these is just soak them in water. Then we're going to put them into a convection oven at 150 degrees. And you may have heard the buzzer go off. I'm experimenting at 10 minutes to see if it's dry and what kind of effect I'll get. So we'll check that out and I'll let you know the outcome. Here are those curls. They heated up for about 20 minutes. And let's just see how they turned out. Pretty curly. I cut a length of pipe cleaner for the arms and the hands. Goes all the way around the body. It's just going to be tacked in here. I'm just going to cover it with a little bit of roving, which is then going to get covered by the jacket anyways. Then I'll bend back the hands. But first I'm going to cover it. I'll probably use perhaps like a blue. We'll see what we have. My hands are complete. I've got my little mitts here. I've added some little thumbs and that will go on his body. But before I do that and attach it, I'm working on this unconventional coat. You can see Griselda is attired in very traditional Christmas red and white. And for this little guy, I've decided to go colorful. And I'm using Hudson Bay point blanket stripes. So I've got my green, red, yellow, and blue ready to go. I just want to show you that I've compressed the fibers down using the multi-needle punch. Now you can see the before is very lofty before I felted it, and after it's very compressed and ready to go. So that's just going to fit around his body. So now what I'm going to do is add the stripes. Leaving a little bit of white in between. I think before I do that though, I'm just going to stab this down to hold it. So I'll start with my blue. What I like about this is it's got a finger protector, so I can't accidentally stab myself. It goes very fast. Just going to smooth them out. And last but not least, the green. I'm going to carefully peel that up. You can see it's attached on the back. It's coming through. Okay, so now I'm just going to tack in the sides to give it a little more definition. Just to make sure it's well adhered. Okay, I'm going to finish that off and we'll see you back in a minute. So, I've attached his arms just by tacking in the back along the center here. And then the coat is prepared, and I've got 2 holes here so that I can get the arms through these holes, and then I'll put sleeves. And on the back, since this is going to roll back, I added a strip of green. Here's his coat complete, and I just added some little felt buttons just to hold it together, and just rolled back the collar, keeping his chin exposed. And now that all that's left is his sleeves, and for that I took this foam tubing, it's actually backer rod for housing, I guess for insulation, rolled it onto the tube, and then I was able to stab into this to hide the seams of the sleeves. And then what I'll do is just insert it and then just felt it around the hole to hold it on, and then he'll have sleeves. To get the sleeve on, because I rolled it into a tube and already closed the seam, I just wrapped some plastic around the mitten and then I slid it on, and I use this just to pull it through to catch it. And now all I have to do is just felt around the hole where the normal armhole would be. Then I'll do the other one the same way. And then all that's left is to make him some little black boots, and he's done. He's looking cute. I've decided to put this little guy on skis. So I've got 2 pieces of roughly equal size roving here. I can use this popsicle stick just as a guide. I'm just going to draw around it. I think I'll use my single needle. Helps me get the shape. Popsicle stick is actually crooked, so I'm just going to flip it around so I can get it straight. And I'll just round off this end too. I don't know if you can see that on camera. Really should get a monitor. I guess the back would be squared off. Let's do that. Okay, so I'm going to do my next one. It's best to do it together so that you can get roughly the same shape. I think I'm going to want just a little bit more wool here. Okay, so I've got my shape. Now I'm just going to fold in. And then fold it on the sides. Let's just clean it up a bit. That's better. Okay, I'm going to continue on with this one. Now they're looking pretty ginormous right now, but I'm hoping that they're going to get felted down to a more manageable size. Okay, now we're just going to gently pick that up and continue felting. There's one. There's the other. And I'll just continue felting that, and then what I'm going to do is curve this tip, but I'll show you that later. So I'm going to further compact the fibers so that I get a skinnier ski. As you can see, I've already started the one on the right. So basically I'm just going around the edge, just bringing the sides in. Watch your fingers. And I'm not going too deep. I'm just making shallow stabs just to compact. Keep your circular shape here. Come around the side. So I'm hoping this is what's going to give my little guy balance, something to stand on. I haven't named him yet. Maybe you can leave me some comments. What do you think his name should be? I don't know what he looks like yet. So continue around. Now the punch tool is much faster, so if you want to flatten, that's a good choice. So I'm going to continue to bring that in and compact the fibers. So I just want to show you how I'm going to get the edges. So just kind of stretch it with your fingers as you go, just to get a clean edge, and just stab at the sides just to bring it in. You can see, I hope you can see the difference there, how much narrower that is compared to that. I'm going to continue along. Watch your fingers. Be sure to maintain the curve at the top. So you can see the comparison there. It's already starting to narrow. I'll continue on with this one. As you can see, these are quite a bit smaller now. Roughly the same shape. Now I'm going to put little curves on the end. So this will be the front. So I'm just going to leave that needle in there just to support it. I'm just going to stab into it just to crease it. You can see I'm getting my curve shape there. So now that I've got that, I'm just going to continue to flatten that shape. all the way around. And I'm using a single needle because I feel like I have more control on the shaping. And you can see I've got my curve. I'm going to do the same to the back, not as steep though, just slightly less curved at the back. And then we're going to continue on. We're going to give him some little boots. And then we're going to attach him right onto the skis. I'm also going to give him some poles, some ski poles. And we'll be back. I've got a pair of cute skis, front and back. There's the front. Now what I need to do is create a pair of little booties and attach them onto the skis. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this black felt. I'm going to be winding it around the bottom just to beef that up. And then... So here's one foot done. I've just wrapped it on the bottom. And then just lightly felted it in. And on the ends, just be careful with your fingers. I'm just going around the middle. I'm leaving the outer ring of this loose so that I can attach the boots to the bottom part here. Now I'm going to continue to wrap this one. I'm not sure if I've got more here. We'll see how it goes. So just pull it rather tightly. And work your way down to the bottom. So now his boots are on, or at least the top part. Now we're going to do like the toe and heel instep. So we're just going to draw across. And then gently fold down. Same with the other side. And this is just similar to the technique that we used for the skis. I'm going to come across here. Actually, I'm going to fill this down a little more. And then just create a little heel. Might have just a little too much. And then just fold back gently. Okay, we've got our rough shape. Just going to round this off a little bit. And peel those off the mat. I'm going to continue to shape. So I'm just pressing down in the middle. I'm just rounding this off at the toe. Just watch your fingers as you do this. Got a little indent here and just a toe. Just going to clean this up and do the same thing on this side. Round it off, indent it, compact the middle. And then we're just going to compact the middle and continue to build up at the sides. Okay, I'm really going to compact down this toe area. Okay. Just shaping the heel a little. I'm just creating a foot shape. Okay, I've got these sort of foot shaped little pads here. Now what I'm going to do is felt these right onto my little guy. Now this is going to be very difficult to capture on camera, but basically I'll felt his leg into the bottom of this, and then what we're going to do is wrap around the heel and the toe and just enclose that around. So this is pretty fiddly. I'm going to do this off camera. So his little legs are attached onto the boots, and then I've just brought the heel up and tacked it in. And then what I'll do is I'll continue just to bring this in and shape it right around the leg. Same with the toes. I'll just bring them up and over. And then we'll get his little boot shaped. So we're going to fold it up to form the heel, and then very carefully bring it together. So now I'm starting to shape around the heel and get that pretty solid before I proceed to the front. Just be sure to keep your fingers out of the way, and we're just going all the way around just to get that solidly placed. Once you're satisfied with that, we're going to continue to bring this up and around. Once the heel is secured, I've just folded up the tip and I'm going to pinch it just onto the instep. I'm just going to go around and catch it in. Pinching as I go. All the way around. And you can see that's starting to take shape. So his boots are just about done. I might just finesse them a touch. And then they're going to get felted right onto the skis. Like that. So I'm basically going to tack them in around the perimeter and then make sure that they're well felted on. To support him as I attach the skis, I've just stabbed in my punch tool in the back. Whoops, there he goes. And I've got needles in the sides here just to support the sides. I'm going to reattach that. Basically just sink it right into the felt. And then position where you want. And then that'll allow you to work with both hands to attach all the way around the boot. So I've just done a preliminary attachment just around the boots. I'm just going to continue around just to make sure it's caught all the way around. And you're just going to take short little jabs just to get the fibers down in there. Now I think what I'm going to do is at the instep, I'm just going to get the fibers right down. Make sure you don't catch the white of the coat. Okay. When you're confident he's pretty much attached, I'm just going to go up through the skis into the foot just to make sure that it's attached in this area. And then he should be pretty much secure. So his skis have been attached all the way around the boot, and lastly, I'm going to stab it in right through the bottom of the ski into the boot on both sides, just to secure it.